Hi, I'm Adrian Alexander with the Absolute Sound. Today's review is the Sonus faber Sonetto VIII G2 speaker. Welcome, thanks for watching the review, and let's get started. Let's talk about the history of Sonus faber. Around 1980, they developed a prototype speaker. By 1983, they were a fully incorporated company. They started with a two-way bookshelf speaker. It was a commercial product, and it was a decent success for them. Why am I reviewing this product? I'm reviewing this product because I think for $8,000 to $9,000, I think this is a good value for any audiophile who's just getting started or someone that wants to upgrade their speakers. Let's discuss the specs. What's in the box? You have one tweeter, one 6.5 mid-range, and two 8-inch woofers. The speaker's available in multiple finishes, a light brown, a dark brown, and a black finish. It's 90 dB, the impedance is 4 ohms. The recommended amplification is 50 to 400 watts. The speakers weigh 95 pounds, so you'll probably need some help getting them through the door. Also, the speakers can be bi-wired. The question we've all been waiting for. How do these speakers sound? Well, I'll explain that to you. I did listen to a number of pieces, but I'll discuss a couple towards the end of the video that really stood out. But listening to some of those pieces, what I did notice from the vocals and the instruments is these speakers presented an extraordinary realism, a warmth and an organic tone. The mid-range sounded great. It didn't sound too boomy. The voices were clear. The other thing that I really enjoyed about listening to these speakers is the tweeter was nice and smooth. The cymbals did not sound harsh. They were detailed. Now, regarding the two 8-inch subwoofers, this is where I think they shined. The bass was tight and controlled. The music was not overwhelming. It wasn't too much of a boomy sound. No need for a subwoofer with these speakers. And I have a pretty decent sized room, so listening to jazz, the realism of the stand-up bass guitar, listening to the kick drum on some other music, the realism of the foot pedal, all of that. Again, it wasn't boomy. That being said, just so everybody's aware, let me tell you some of the products that I used in reviewing these speakers. Two monoblock 260.8 monoblock amps from Past Labs, an XP22 preamp from Past Labs. I did listen to vinyl, which is a VPI Avenger turntable with two arms, one mono for a mono cartridge, the other for a moving coil cartridge. The cables I used are Synergistic Research Foundation cables, and the streamer I used was the Synergistic Research Voodoo streamer in the Bricasti M1 DAC series. So those were the components that I used with these speakers. What music did I listen to? Well, I chose two artists that are no longer with us. The first one is Sly Stone of Sly and the Family Stone. The song that I listened to was Hot and Fun in the Summertime. You know, this song, I've always liked this song. I remember listening to this song when I was 12 years old in 1972 through an 8-track tape. Now I have the record and I listened to it in 2025. And listening to this song through these speakers, I don't know, I closed my eyes and the song just danced across the stage. It reminded me of a summertime block party. So it was very engaging, and these speakers brought that out, in my opinion. The next song I listened to was the Beach Boys, God Only Knows. Now, I'm not a huge Beach Boys fan, but I do like some of their songs. This is what I heard through the speaker. Carl Wilson's voice presented a clarity, a softness that floated dead center between these two speakers. It delivered a natural warmth, and it seemed like he was right there in the room. Actually, I felt like I was maybe 3 feet away. I can't say again that I'm a huge Beach Boys fan. I've always just liked this song, and the reason why is I like how it's arranged. I like the harmonies. I like the background vocals, And these speakers excelled at bringing these back. Again, I felt as though I was there maybe 3 rows away. Again, for between $8,000 and $9,000, I think this is a great value. But I also want to be clear, these speakers aren't for everybody. I want to let you know that they're not a forward-sounding speaker, and some people like that sound. Everybody's ear is different. They're more laid back, larger sound stage, more precise with the instruments, and the vocal is dead center. However, they do sound okay off axis. So I want to be clear about that. Also, these speakers, they're Italian made, so if you care about aesthetics and the materials that are used in these speakers, these are a great fit. They look well in a living room. Again, between $8,500 and $9,000, I think this is a good value. You can add a subwoofer or not add a subwoofer. I didn't listen to them with a subwoofer because of the 2 8-inch drivers, plenty of bass. They're a very musical sounding speaker, in my opinion. In other words, they're not too boomy, they're not too harsh, and the mid-range is just nice and smooth, a silky sound. Conclusion. So who are these speakers for? Okay, in my opinion, music lovers, audiophiles, just people that like music, who value emotional expression, warmth, and realism. That's what these speakers presented. But I do want to be clear about one thing. These speakers are not a forward-sounding speakers. Some people, I have friends that like a more dynamic, more in-your-face kind of sound. So know that when you listen to these speakers, that they're a little bit laid back, and if that's what you're looking for, these are a great fit. I want to thank you for watching the review. I want to thank you for the kind comments. Now, as you know or may not know, we have a magazine that you can subscribe to. We appreciate all the support that you guys have given us, and want to continue doing videos that you guys enjoy. So I just wanted to say thank you, and thanks for watching this, and I'll see you next time on The Absolute Sound.